Over the past several years, there has been a shift in strategy for homelessness away from crisis response to long-term solutions. That means less reliance on shelters and motels and more on permanent housing. To increase that housing, the state recently announced a grant to St. Francis House and the Planning Office for Urban Affairs of the Archdiocese of Boston. To tell us about the project is our guest from St. Francis House, the Executive Director, Karen LaFrazia. Thank you very much for being with us, Karen.
My pleasure, Chris.
First of all, talk about how you got to this idea, because there had to be an idea before the state came through with the funding.
The idea literally came as I looked out my window. And St. Francis House is located at 39 Boylston Street. And diagonally across from our building is 48 Boylston Street. And that property became available. And as I looked out my window and I saw this beautiful building, and then I looked at my sidewalk and I saw hundreds of men and women who are experiencing homelessness walking in our front door, it didn't take too long to put those two thoughts together and see what an opportunity that was.
Well, talk about the difference between that patchwork of services that some of the homeless rely on. You know, they might go to St. Francis House Project, they might go to Pine Street Inn or some other shelter. Talk about the difference between that and a place you come home to every day or every night.
Well, what's really interesting is that patchwork of services. We're all working so collaboratively together so that in fact it is a seamless opportunity for people who are homeless. So somebody will sleep in shelter, but what we all know is that everybody thrives and does so much better with their quality of life and their ability to have meaning and purpose in their life when they have a permanent place to live. You're not having to find a place to sleep at night, a place to be during the day, and you're spending a lot of energy on survival mode. That is energy so much better spent in really addressing whatever issues that led you to be homeless in the first place, and really in having a thriving quality of life. So permanent housing is the cornerstone and essential element to all of that.
We're talking with Karen LaFrazia from St. Francis House. Karen, take, for example, a person who maybe is homeless in connection with mental illness, someone who's really sort of fallen off the track of treatment, as it were. How does having a home make things work out better?
Well, it's really having a home is the first piece, and then having the support services are critically important to ensuring that that person, once housed and having a home, continue to stay in that home. So the project that we're envisioning is actually a blending of both of those things. So we'll be creating the housing, so it's the permanent place to live. And St. Francis House already has robust services. In fact, we have a mental health department. We have 4 licensed mental health clinicians on our staff. We have psychiatry that comes in and is available. We have a partnership with another organization called Boston Healthcare for the Homeless. They're able to provide primary physical care. So we're able to wrap around, leverage all of what we're already doing and make it completely available to somebody. If they have a mental health issue, they can walk across the street and be serviced and supported in that way. But people are homeless for lots of reasons. Mental health would be one of those. Sometimes people are looking for a place to work, and they need a leg up and they need an opportunity to find employment. Well, we have an employment program. So it's this blending of permanent housing, but you need to have the housing in order to truly take advantage of the services.
And I've even met homeless people who do work, and they just don't make enough money to have a home. This particular project is also going to include some job or training opportunities?
Well, this one project is leveraging so much more than housing. So what the project will entail, we'll have 46 units of permanent housing. In addition to that, St. Francis House at 39 Boylston Street will move our administrative offices across the street and into the new property. What that will do is free up space in our existing building. And then on the street level, right on Boylston Street, we have 2,000 square feet of space that will be used to launch some sort of a business venture. And that business will accomplish a couple of things. That business will, first and foremost, add to the vitality of the neighborhood. It'll be an opportunity for St. Francis House to give back to the neighborhood some service that folks that are living there need. But it will also create training opportunities and real jobs and meaningful employment opportunities for the people that we're servicing now.
Yeah, with some of the homeless, I have a feeling you're not necessarily starting with ground zero on training, and I guess what they also need with the job is that kind of stability in their life. I guess that's something you're looking at here too?
Absolutely. Well, the stability, like we said, first begins with a place to live. So you're not having to negotiate the streets and the shelters, right? The stability also means having people in your life who you can depend on. It's a naturally occurring resources that we all have in our lives, right? Homeless people are no different. They need people that they can talk to about whatever issues are going on for them. So we have that at St. Francis House, and that gets applied to this project. And then we need a means by which we can have a living, and so the employment opportunity brings that with it as well. So it brings the financial, and then what we all know about employment is it brings dignity. You have a sense of purpose. You have a reason for staying sober. You have a reason for addressing your mental health issues. Employment is, I would say, it's almost as fundamental to so many of us as housing.
We're talking with Karen LaFrazia from St. Francis House. Tell me a little bit more about the building. This is a pretty historic building.
Oh, it is a beautiful building. It was built in 1857. It's I think it's the last remaining example of the Victorian Gothic era of architecture that lives in the downtown area. So we're going to preserve that. Our housing partner, the Planning Office of Urban Affairs, they're really the experts in this area. I'm an expert in services, and they're really the expert in housing development and being able to do this kind of historic preservation. But we will completely restore the facade of the property. We'll be able to maintain a lot of the historic features that are internal to the property, and it's just stunning. Love you to come and visit it.
This is a part of the city, especially the downtown area, that wasn't in such great shape a couple of decades ago.
That's true.
And now that we have all these luxury towers and upscale businesses, has this changed things at all for what you do and the people you serve?
Well, the first thing you'll want to know about me, Chris, is I am an eternal optimist. So I actually think in some ways it's actually changed it for the better. When you uplift a neighborhood, all people can be uplifted, including the people that come to St. Francis House. So some of the benefits to St. Francis House, new people that want to come in and volunteer, new people that want to donate, things that we need, whether that's clothing or food, to embrace St. Francis House as we've embraced them in the neighborhood. I think the challenging part of it is to ensure that everybody has a place in that neighborhood, that we continue to embrace diversity and economic diversity being critical in that. So everybody gets to live in this wonderful new neighborhood.
Yeah, and you just kept reminding me, this is not just downtown now, it's a neighborhood.
It is a neighborhood.
We should mention finally, if people would like some more information about St. Francis House and this project, you have a place where they can see that?
Absolutely. Well, first just come to our website, and that would be at stfrancishouse.org, and that's stfrancishouse.org. And anything and everything you'd ever want to know, including we just put up a new page about this particular project. So we'd love to have people come and visit our website and come and visit us in person.
Thank you very much for being with us.
Okay, pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Karen LaFrazia from St. Francis House.